Two. Hello, Frog fans. Welcome back to Postgame Beers Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Malloy. Welcomed by my co-host, Jacob Sailors. We've got a full house tonight. Our producer, Crazy Ray Cartwright, is barely with us, but he's here. Barely with us. He's here. Our Sultan of Stat, Martin Guerrero, and featuring our resident uninformed horse, Garrett Evans. Full crew, full house tonight. We are just 8 short days away from Frog Ball USA's first game of the season, and just 2 days until the Chiefs three-peat. But that's for another time, another episode, right? We can talk about the Chiefs another time.
Jacob, MK,
how are we feeling?
I got to tell you something first before you hit me with your random question of the night. So after work, I walked outside and I felt the weather. Okay, we all live in the same area. We know what the weather felt like, right? Went straight to the liquor store, got me some long drink.
Heck yeah.
Can't see it because I have a background. That's cool. So with the weather and long drink, do you know what it had me thinking?
No,
just answer. It's a kind of a rhetorical question.
Baseball time in Texas?
Guess what I did today, boys? I found drops.
Oh, man.
We're about to
Is this a new thing?
Yeah, dude, it's a new thing. Yeah.
We have drops now.
Well, let's jump into our sponsor. Thank you, as always, to our sponsor, Long Drink, the Finnish legend, a delicious drink while watching Frog Ball, available at all liquor stores that should be around you in the DFW area. But, it's interesting because when you're sipping a long drink, what are you also thinking about?
Dude,
baseball.
I need something. I don't know, man. Like long drink. I'm sipping one right now. I got the delicious cranberry, and something salty. I think would be a good go along with this cranberry long drink.
How about a snack? Snack?
Like a salty snack, right?
We are absolutely thrilled to announce our second sponsor this year, our newest sponsor, Chinook Seedery. Yes, I said that correctly. Chinook, bigger, better sunflower seeds. They have some incredible flavors like lemon pepper, jalapeno ranch, cinnamon toast. Are you kidding me?
Dude.
Be on that dill pickle, though.
Dill pickle? Okay.
Hey, dill.
Jacob, are you more of a smokehouse barbecue guy or a hatch chili guy?
Dude, all right. So the original seeds that I grew up on were regular barbecue or ranch, right? Like I'm looking at Chinook and I'm getting Jake DeLongchamp fired up about lemon pepper, dude. Give me some lemon pepper.
Dude, coming off TCU's Albuquerque Bowl win, you got to go with that Hatch chili.
There you go. Okay. More importantly, listeners of the show, use the code LDC. I said that right. LDC, 3 letters. You'll receive 10% off your first order and every order after that. If you go on the website, they're going to give you 10% off, but it's just a one-time deal. Use LDC for every order after, and you're going to get 10% off. So we appreciate Chinook Seedery just chiming in and being a sponsor for us. We appreciate Long Drink. You pair those together, oh boy, you got afternoon.
Hey, MK, tell them what the website is, because when you go on there, you'll see there's just an unbelievable amount of flavors. And you can get variety packs. You can get, if you have your heart set on one particular flavor, they can make that happen for you. What would you estimate how many flavors there are?
If I was going to guess before looking, I would have said, hey, they've got at least 5, right?
Sure. Standard.
Yep. It looks like they've got a solid 8. that are just raring to go.
Yeah.
Plus, you can build your own variety pack just from the start.
Let's go.
Dude,
Let's
a
go.
solid 8. That is what I'm looking for every Saturday night at the bar.
Or at church on Sundays. Am I right?
Or church on Sundays, MK.
All right. Appreciate Long Drink. Thank you, Chinook, for joining in the show. We are grateful for this. Fellas, we have a fun podcast for you tonight. Tonight, we are going to talk about the offense position by position. We're going to go through, talk about outgoing production, who's returning, who's transferred in. What do we think about this position? But first, I think we have something fun to bring to the audience, and that is a baseball movie draft. We've all seen, let's say, 20 to 30 baseball movies in our lives, and we're going to snake draft one by one, 1 through 20. And who is getting it started? Jacob, can you announce
let me, let me go through a couple ground rules here. So first of all, mainly the only rule here is baseball has to be kind of the central plot to the movie. So like I said, no Naked Gun, where, it's an iconic scene, right? But that's not a baseball movie. So it has to be, like I said, central premise, baseball movie. We're going to go snake draft. The draft order is Ray, then it'll be MK, Garrett, myself, and then Martin. We're going to go 4 rounds. It's going to be Mount Rushmore style. And then we will put it to a vote on Twitter and see who wins this fantasy draft.
Are we putting stakes on this?
Yeah, I was just going to say we don't have stakes right now, but shoot, man, I love stakes.
I would say so here's the thing. I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but if I'm last, I'll buy all of y'all a beer or whatever drink of choice you want at the first game.
Yeah, usually coming in last is better than winning, or it's it should be more interesting who comes in last rather than who wins, right?
Yeah. How about a beer or a food of choice at the first game that we attend?
All right, I'm in on that. All right, we all agree with this?
That works.
Okay. All right. There's your stakes. Okay. So we will start with Ray. Hold on, guys. I got a new toy here. So we're going to play a little bed music for the draft.
This is from Squid Games.
I've never seen Squid Games.
All right, Ray. Let me know when your pick is in.
How long do I have? What's the amount of time?
A reasonable amount of time.
I
think we're ready
to trade.
You've had the whole offseason to think about this. What do you mean?
No trades.
I'd like to trade my pick to the Lakers for Luka Doncic. I want him back. But that's not what we're here right now.
If Nico was the GM of the Lakers, that could go through.
Oh my goodness. Okay, boys. So after, I fired the scouting department up. Dude, we've been working nonstop.
Is the pick
through the night, burning the midnight oil.
Is the pick in?
Is the pick in?
The pick is in.
Yes, let's go.
And with the first pick in the 2025 fantasy base or baseball movie Mount Rushmore list, the Fighting Ray Cartwright's man of the people.
All right, let's go.
Trouble with the Curve.
Wow,
Clint
shocking.
Shocking thriller.
What?
Whoa.
Trouble with the Curve 2012, starring what's his name?
Boy.
Clint Eastwood, Amy Adams, and our guy Justin Timberlake.
Okay, it's your pick.
Okay, moving on.
All right, Ray, we'll see you at the end of round 2.
Team 2, the pick is in.
Oh, hold on.
They were waiting for Team 1 to make a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, right. MK's running to the podium right now after that first round pick.
This is not even a question for me. It's the movie that I would watch 100 times over 100. I've seen more than anything else. But the pick, the number 2 pick in this baseball movie draft is Major League One.
Ooh, that's a big blow to my board. Good pick, MK. All right, Garrett's on the clock.
The pick is in.
Okay, that's the last time I'm playing that.
I love that you brought that in.
Oh gosh, with the 3rd pick for the first round, the uninformed frog selects Bull Durham.
Bull Durham.
All-time classic. I know it's low-hanging fruit, but many memorable moments, so many quotable lines. The movie poster's hanging right over my right shoulder on the wall over here. It's an all-timer. Deserves to be a first round.
Okay. So I actually had Bull Durham pretty high on my big board because I know how popular it is, but I've actually never seen it.
We have to do a little LDC family watch party.
Yeah, now we all have to go over. We'll go to MK's house in his backyard. He'll fire up the projector.
Okay.
And we'll watch Trouble with the Curve.
No, we will not. Right.
Major League.
Right. That in the 4th round. You could have gotten it as an undrafted free agent.
Hey,
Nobody was
okay.
taking Trouble with the Curve.
Hold on. What other movie do you see a guy that has to become a scout to get into the broadcast booth? I mean, come on.
Jacob, turn off the kids' music.
You getting tired of my bits already?
I feel like people are going to turn it off because they can't stand it.
I knew that would happen. All right. So, man, my 1-1 is still on the board, guys. Thank you for those picks ahead of me because I am running to the podium to take Moneyball with the 1-1. Or well, that was 1 on my board. 4th overall.
It's
Jacob,
so easily rewatchable.
It is.
How hard is it to play first base?
It's extremely hard.
Martin,
Didn't we work that into the pod? Didn't we work
Hey.
that into the pod at one point?
I think we
Like
probably
we stuck
did.
that in?
Dude, we
Yeah.
love bits.
All right,
Bits are
Martin's
fun.
got back-to-back picks here at the end of round 1 and
Hey.
to lead off round 2.
This sucks. Most of you made very good picks.
Who didn't?
Okay, Kyle, he's looking right at you.
Based on your view, mine, he's looking at you.
Martin, did you think Moneyball was going to get past me at 4?
No chance. I thought Major League would slip to the bottom
I
of the
was
first round.
actually, if Major League and Moneyball had both been on the board, I would have probably, since I couldn't trade down, I would have had to really, pick between 2 great options.
Yeah, I mean, Major League is just such a classic. It's kind of one of the worst baseball. Like the baseball's not great, right?
I don't care about that though.
No, I know, but it's a great movie. It's got so many quotes. It's the most quoted baseball movie. I love Major League, and I love.
So I
Major
watched
League
do you guys know who Trevor May is? He was a reliever.
Yes.
So he's kind of got a social media thing going on, and I watched him review Major League from the standpoint of a Major League player, and he was like, "Yeah, a lot of this stuff, like spring training and locker room cuts, and like some of that's pretty accurate."
Right. The worst part is though when they suck for so long and then they go to the World Series.
But that's like every one of these movies, dude.
That's so true. It's every one of these baseball movies.
Well,
So that's always been my problem as a kid who grew up obsessed with baseball. That I couldn't suspend realism.
If we
So I'd
try
be
hard
like-
enough and we love
Wait.
the game
We
enough,
should save a lot of this. We should get picks in,
All
and
right.
then we can debate. All right, Martin, you're on the clock.
I'm gonna take Field of Dreams.
Okay, Field of Dreams. Yep,
classic.
chalky. And you were on the clock at the beginning of round 2.
Sugar.
Oh,
Sugar. Okay.
tell us why.
So Sugar, I think, is actually the best baseball movie ever. Most of you probably haven't seen it. It's about a guy who gets signed out of the Dominican, and then he shows like him struggling to adjust to life in America and pitching for an organization and stuff like that. And then at the end, he gets cut. And I think so. All of them are like on work visas, right? And so when they get cut, they get sent back to the Dominican. And so most of them, according to this movie, run away to like New York and shit and change their names and play like on Sunday leagues. So it's like a Sunday league full of like former minor league players and stuff.
Yeah, I saw it's really popular. I'd never heard of it, never seen it. So it wasn't even on my board, but that could prove to be a very good pick for you.
He took it in round 2 for our
yeah.
keeper
I think
league
he
next
could have
year.
gotten it in round 3.
Yeah, he wanted a keeper for next year. So
yeah.
All right.
I'm on the clock, and man, this draft is falling right to me. I'm taking the rookie with my second pick.
There you go.
Is that the one with Dennis Quaid?
Yep.
I'm kind of surprised.
And
that
the
made
great Chuck Morgan.
It's good. Good movie.
Ballpark
Good
in
movie.
Arlington.
Yeah. I was actually watching that movie as a kid when the real Jim Morris came into pitch.
You were at that game?
Watching that game, I'm sorry. I was watching that game on TV when they were actually, they had the crowd stay after to film as extras.
That scene.
I remember Jim Morris coming into pitch in real life.
That's really cool. The scene where he gets to the ballpark in Arlington for the first time and is walking under the arches. Oh my gosh.
Chills. You mentioning that, I'm getting chills over here.
The music is perfect.
I'm guessing you were hoping that was going to fall to you here, Garrett, because you're on the clock.
Certainly was. Am I on the clock now? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the rookie's gone. I'm going to go maybe a little bit of a different route here. I'm going to go, what year is this actually? I'm going to double check. I'm going to go back to the year 1999.
Okay.
And similar to my first round pick, I'm going to stick with my boy, Kevin Costner. I'm going to go with For Love of the Game.
Okay. Saw it once, got bored. So
I love it. I love how it takes place over the course of his last game and all the memories and experiences coming back to him throughout the course of the ball game.
It's a solid movie. It's not going to be on my board.
2 Kevin Costner movies.
Yeah, dude, Kevin Costner is a major player in this draft. No doubt. All right, we got MK. He took Major League. Major League fell to him somehow. And now you're on the clock in the second round.
Sorry, this is an easy one because it's my number 2 on the board.
Oh, I bet I know what it is.
I bet y'all do. But it's a movie that I remember not only from childhood, but I've instilled now as a important movie in my children's childhood, and they love it to this day. And that is The Sandlot.
Yep. Chalky movie. I personally am not a huge fan.
And that's fine. But Benny the Jet Rodriguez lives in my dreams, my fan. Let's go.
Okay, fair enough. All right. We'll see you after Ray picks in the second and the third round.
Let's go.
So, boys, scouting department was really fired up. I'm going to go to the year 1992 and select the Tom Hanks thriller, A League of Their Own.
Okay. Don't hate it.
There is no crying in baseball.
Yeah, it was on my board. A little lower on my board, but it's a good dude. Tom Hanks. I was actually the Tom Hanks character for Halloween this past year. My girlfriend went as Dottie.
All right. So
did I lose you guys?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was getting laid out on. I got you.
Ray's Googling baseball movies.
Yeah, Ray's Googling. Yeah, okay.
Now, we're going to go to my childhood, back to my childhood. Don't remember exactly what year this came out, but I love this movie as a kid. Rookie of the Year.
Fantastic choice, dude.
Well done.
I was hoping that was going to slip to me in the third round because
not going to lie, I'm disappointed, Ray, because that was my next pick.
Yeah, that's a great pick. You got great value there in the third. There was one summer my brother and I watched that movie every single night during the summer. And to this day, I feel like if you gave me the mic and gave me 2 hours, I could quote the whole thing beginning to end.
Hey, you want to talk about unrealistic movies? The Cubs winning the World Series?
After losing their ace, Chet Steadman, to an arm injury in game 163.
Funky butt loving.
So they
Very
lose
quotable.
their top 2 arms before the playoffs even start,
Chet Steadman.
and they win the ALCS and the World Series.
Chet Steadman, he was the mentor. He was a mentor for the kid.
But he was their opening day starter, MK.
I'm just saying, as a guy, we know.
He wasn't. Actually, he wasn't. It was some other guy that was actually their opening day starter, and Clay Kyle took him deep on the first pitch. All right, who we got? MK, you're on the clock.
Back to me. All right, I'm going to go deep cut here. Probably a movie y'all have never seen, but an old one from my childhood and one that I watched over and over because I just thought it was intriguing is Mr. Baseball.
Yeah, it's on my board, man. I've seen Mr. Baseball. Tom
Selleck got sent to Japan, and it's funny. Our neighbor, our recent interviewee, Jansen Whitty. I'm like, are you Mr. Baseball? Like you're doing the thing, man. But no, it's just it's a fun movie, and it was good.
Did
stuff.
y'all see Craig's comment? I'll put it back up in case y'all missed it.
Russell.
Ray with the Jamarcus Russell of baseball movie.
Which one's he referring to?
Trouble with the Curve, man.
Dude, that is a fantastic movie.
It would have been there as a free agent. You could have had it in the 4th round if you wanted it so bad.
I just drafted the Tony Romo of movies.
Tony Romo was undrafted.
He would have gone in the 1st round if they redrafted.
Whatever. All right.
Garrett's up.
Yeah.
Garrett.
So, man, I'm tempted with some real bangers left on the board. But I gotta go with my heart here. I'm gonna go with a more recent movie. Everybody Wants Some. You'll haven't
never heard of it.
Fantastic movie. It has very little actual baseball in it, but it follows a collegiate baseball team in the state of Texas, from the point of a freshman getting onto campus, and then all of the off-field kind of shenanigans that all the boys are getting into while they're on what I believe is supposed to be Texas State. It kind of has that feel to it. Fantastic movie, a lot of fun, kind of the vibes around a 1980s college clubhouse.
You've sold
the cast
me on it.
Actually looks pretty legit. I think I might watch this. This looks
It's
awesome.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you down. You've sold me on it, but all right. Man, I got options here, man. You guys are really making this draft work for me. I'm gonna go with my 3rd pick. It's tough. Little Big League.
Ooh.
Little Big League.
Now,
Turn
how
in
do
the
you
card.
do algebra? Weren't they doing algebra in the
Great scene
in the clubhouse?
Great scene. There's real life Texas Rangers in the movie, which I
Ooh,
love.
Ken Griffey Jr.'s in
Ken
that movie.
Ken Griffey Jr. was so cool in that movie.
Okay, so not gonna lie, Jacob, I forgot about this, and I'm kind of upset about it.
MK
It helped
sleeping.
me. Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, my scouting department has been on top of things.
Dude, MK's the Nico Harrison of this draft.
Was Kirby Puckett in this one? God, I love this movie. All right, moving on. Man.
All right, Martin, you got your 3rd and 4th round picks.
All right, with my 3rd pick, I'm gonna go with Mr. 3000.
Nice.
Solid.
Bernie Williams, rest in
Yeah.
peace.
Mm-hmm.
Not Bernie Williams.
It's funny. I heard you say that. I knew who you meant. Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac.
That's not
Bernie-
the Yankees
Bernie
center
Williams.
fielder.
Okay, Martin, you're back on the clock. Finish it out.
I'm gonna go with Major League 2.
Okay.
What?
Whoa!
I mean, it's a 4th round pick. What are you gonna do?
Dude,
Yeah.
my draft is busted now, dude. Ruined.
Okay, so Martin's final squad is Field of Dreams, Sugar, Mr. 3000, Major League 2. So I'm back on the clock with my last pick, and I have 2 movies to pick from that are still on my board. So I'm loving this. I'm gonna take it back old school. I'm gonna go 8 Men Out. 8 Men Out.
There you go.
So my final squad, which I couldn't be happier with. I feel like I'm going to win this. I really do. I got Moneyball, The Rookie, Little Big League, and 8 Men Out.
Solid lineup.
All right.
That's a
Garrett?
very 8-8 lineup.
No. That is. Mm-mm.
I'm going to close it out with what many would deem an all-time classic, back from the year of our Lord 1984. If you're a Rangers fan, you know the song very, very well. I'm going The Natural.
The Natural. Yep,
But
solid. I'm surprised it was still there in the 4th, but
Folks over 45 are going to vote 100% for Garrett's lineup here.
Good thing we trend in the demo between
Garrett. Garrett's
23
definitely
to
more than the
35.
movie market.
Yeah, the classics.
So
I
let's recap
respect it.
Garrett
I
has
respect
Bull Durham, For Love of the Game, Everybody Wants Some, and The Natural.
I respect it. It's
Okay, MK.
I'm struggling because I have a couple options here. One is a movie from my childhood that's very scary and intense, and then
What?
one that I've watched with my children at this point that is popular and kind of, I don't say overplayed, but just talked about it much more often. So I'm trying to figure out how to go about this. But you know what? I'm going for the fan vote here. I'm not messing around.
Yeah, you got to.
Angels in the outfield.
Yep, there it is.
Let's go.
So, MK, that was the other one I was debating on. I'm glad
Oh,
you took
God
I'm glad to
bless
see it.
America. Damn it.
Uh-oh.
I was going to take that. I had a whole demonstration. I was going to push my laptop. I was going to start flapping my wings.
Sorry, it's my
Fly out of this draft
it's my choice.
with the W, and MK comes in here at the last second.
If you would have paired that Trouble with the Curve, you would have been unstoppable.
Oh
The
my
thing is,
God.
Ray, you could be taking
Dude,
trouble with the curve now
what
and
the-
already have Angels in the outfield.
Pick 19,
Snake.
baby. So, can I tell you my other thought? Has anyone?
Oh, no. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let Ray
No,
finish.
go
You know-
ahead. Let's hear your other thought, MK.
All right, MK's recap. We have Major League, Sandlot, Mr. Baseball, and Angels in the outfield. Pretty salty.
Legit.
Pretty salty. All right, Ray, you what's left on your board?
Where our scouting department is in shambles right now.
Are y'all scrambling?
We are scrambling because we just had the rug.
Well, that's
pulled
what happens
out
when you
from
reach in round one.
underneath of us.
You reached with the 1-1, Ray.
Oh, that's not a reach. All right. For the last pick in this draft, Ray Cartwright's going to take.
I'm going to play the squid music theme again.
Dazed and Confused.
No.
The, the human.
We've already vetoed this.
Garbage.
Out.
Come on, that's a great movie.
Ray, come on, make a pick.
Okay. I'm going to take, man, I'm trying to think of baseball movies.
Oh my God. I'm
I
about
don't
to
have-
give him.
Auto draft.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no,
There's
no.
none left on
Auto-
my board.
Give
Auto
them bench
You've already
draft.
warmers.
auto drafted.
What's the auto draft?
Give them bench warmers.
He's about to get
No.
no.
No,
I was gonna say,
no.
what's the little kid? Bad News
Bad
Bears.
News Bears.
Bad
But
News
that would
Bears.
actually
No.
improve his roster.
Yeah.
Bad News Bears.
Man. Okay, then I'm going to take probably one of the better movies out there. 42 is a really,
All right, that's a good
really
pick.
good movie.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
pick.
surprised
I really
42.
like the movie 42.
All right, Ray, that's
Oh,
a good.
MK
That was
doesn't
Ray.
like Jackie Robinson.
Ray, your 20th overall was better than your 1-1.
Nah, man,
The
dude.
cherry-
1-1 is a gem.
I mean, you got the you were like the person in the draft that I don't know. They take like Des Bryant or something because
Craig
they've heard of
O'Connor's
him
comment
before.
about that being the Jamarcus Russell of the draft.
That's a
perfect.
yeah,
Marcus Russell
that's perfect.
baseball movie picks.
All right, were there any left out?
I have an honorable to bring up just because it's a great movie and I think y'all should all watch it. It's from last year. If y'all heard of this movie, it's called You Gotta Believe.
No, I've never heard of it.
So y'all all
I
need to watch
see it
this. It's
on
about
my Google search.
it's a true story, and it's about I can't remember what year it was here in Fort Worth, but it's about like one of the West Side Little League teams here in Fort Worth, and one of the coaches, the coach came down with cancer, and they ended up making it to the Little League World Series and playing for their dad.
Luke Wilson, Patrick Renna.
Great
Greg
movie.
Kinnear.
Highly recommend it. It's probably not a draft worthy movie, but honorable Fort Worth tie mention.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Oh my goodness! I just remembered the movie I should have taken.
What,
oh
Hardball?
My God, no.
William Dixon says a little sad Hardball went undrafted.
No, Fever Pitch.
Ew, terrible.
That was my 10th pick,
God
and I knew we'd never get there, Ray.
Okay, so when the undrafted free agency opens up, dude, we are scrambling to Jimmy Fallon's doorstep. Say, dude, we're signing you.
That'll be a one-man Ray. That'll be a one-man race because nobody else is going after it.
Have y'all seen The Fan, Wesley Snipes?
That's for the fan to decide.
Maybe a long time ago.
Okay,
maybe.
It's like a horror movie because this guy has an obsession over Wesley Snipes, who's a baseball player. Robert De Niro, like a lot of good actors in it.
Was that the horror one you were talking about?
Yes, and so again went with the crowd classic.
I would say for me, 61 is the snub of the draft for me. Anyway, that was pretty good, guys. So we'll put that out on Twitter and we'll figure out who owes who beer. And I got a feeling who it's going to be.
Okay.
Catch. Damn.
We ready to go into the next phase of the pod?
Yeah, man. Let's ride.
We've got a lot of content to go. We're going to talk about TCU for the first time. Finally, we get to talk about the offense. Very excited to break down the offensive side of the ball tonight. Next week, we're going to talk about pitching, but tonight we're going positions 2 through 9. So catcher all the way to the outfield. And we'll probably talk about them in, kind of collective, and people are going to chime in and throw some stuff out there. If you have thoughts, please jump in to the Instagram chat, throw them in there. And if they're good, you know what? We're going to throw them on there and would love to get your feedback. Here's the way we're going to work this is let's talk about outgoing production first for catcher. Let's talk about returning production. We've got a lot of that. And then we'll talk about returning players and also transfers and maybe even freshmen that are going to come in and jump in for a spot. Everybody's got a job to do tonight. We're all going to chime in, which I'm very excited about to get a lot of banter back and forth. So
we have jobs to do tonight.
If you don't want to do your job, somebody will pick it up, Ray.
Yeah. Ray, we've already prepared on your behalf. Don't worry. All right. So if you're watching on YouTube tonight, we really appreciate it. And it's a good night to be doing so because we've prepared a little visual aid to go along with this preview. So don't worry if you're listening on audio only, we'll make it, digestible for you.
I like visual aids.
Go ahead and
We're going to move.
Gentlemen, I present to you LDC's official, unofficial depth chart.
Unofficial.
My goodness, look at that.
It's going to go position by position, just like MK said. And without further ado, let's get into this. So,
all right. So we're saving position 1 for next week. We'll talk about pitchers next week. We're going to start with position 2, our catcher.
So let's talk about outgoing production first. I mean, really the story here is, Curtis Byrne. He finishes his career with a 279 batting average, an 816 ops, and 24 home runs. His numbers slipped a little bit in his senior year, but that's because he had an extremely good junior year. And despite that slip last year, he was still one of the more productive hitters in the lineup. His career, in my opinion, was highlighted by a monster postseason run in 2023 that led TCU to Omaha. It included a 3-hit night in the conference championship game against Oklahoma State in the Big 12 tournament. And then he was actually, guys, so we talk about Trey Richardson against Arkansas. How about Curtis Byrne going 4 for 5 in that game? The forgotten hero. So
how about just his heater that he went on when the team got hot and carried him to Omaha?
Absolutely, dude. I mean, Curtis Byrne, to me, I'll always have fond memories of him. I don't know what he's doing now, but I wish him the best. I'm glad he was a frog. I'm glad he stuck it out because playing time was kind of sparse for him to begin his career thanks to COVID. But he stuck it out, and I hope he believes it paid off for him. So long, Curtis Byrne.
And don't sleep on Leach. Dude ended his TCU career with a 500 batting average of 1,500 OBS.
Well, Ray, if you would let me get to Dalen Leach, then you'll know I'm not sleeping on Dalen Leach. But I think last year when we did preview, I previewed Dalen Leach, and I had one note, and I said, thanks for coming to TCU. And now that Dalen Leach is an outgoing player, Mr. Leach, thank you for coming to TCU. So let's move on to our current depth chart.
Officially unofficial.
This is y'all's cue to talk about the current and new players.
Okay, well, a little bit off the rails. I was not expecting this sudden of a change. I thought we were going to... Okay. So returning back, we've got probably, would you consider Carson Bowen the captain of the team? Martin.
It's either him or Silva.
Yeah,
kind of has to be.
I always feel like the catcher is the leader of the team. And that's Carson Bowen. Doesn't get much better than that. One of the best in the Big 12.
Yeah, dude. There's no doubt about that. I'm trying to pull up. So the thing with Carson last year is he missed all the fall because of injury. And he was extremely unlucky. Martin, do you have his BABIP stats?
Everything is finding a glove for Carson, dude. Everything.
Yeah, I've got something prepared for Carson.
Okay, go.
So obviously everybody remembers the 2023 season. He hit 350 with a 420 on base and a 502 slugging, helped lead the team to Omaha. You know, everybody was really hitting on that team. And like you said, he missed the fall with some injuries, and that really put him behind the 8-ball. He was splitting time at catcher and first base with Curtis Byrne, which, you know, with missing the fall with injury and having to learn a new position that he's never really played before, I think that kind of, I mean, he might have played first base before, but not at the collegiate level, right? And so going to what you were talking about was the bad luck. So his BABIP actually, from his freshman year to his sophomore season, went down over 150 points, which is an insane number. Everything else was pretty much the same or better. His strikeout rate was pretty much identical to his freshman year. His walk rate his sophomore year was actually better than his freshman year. His power numbers were better. He went fewer at bats between home runs than he did his first year, even though he hit 6 both years. But that BABIP was really, batting average of balls in play was like the big reason. Because I mean, if you just raise the rest of his stats by 150 points, I mean, he's having just as good as the year as he did the first year. So.
Yeah, I remember charting his at bats for the first half of the season last year, and I was like, geez, how many times is this guy gonna line out?
Yeah, dudes. And like too, with him, all respect to Curtis, obviously, but with him out the door now, I know he's played a little at first, I think, but here getting ready for this season. But not splitting time behind the plate, you think they'll just give him the opportunity to just build up more consistency and more opportunities to improve in that regard, Martin?
I think the games that TCU needs to win, like conference games, weekend games, the big midweek games against DBU and stuff like that, I think you need Carson behind the plate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think he's going to play much first base this year. I think they're going to give him more of a day off and just have him DH or something on his days off. Plus, we've got a loaded stable of catchers. So the reason this guy's not on here, Isaac Cadena, is because we try to make it as simple as possible. But just because his name's not on here doesn't mean he's not going to catch any games.
Mm-hmm.
He and Traeger had a heated battle for the backup catcher spot. And, I would say it's still going right now. It changes, from game to game. But both of those guys look really good in the fall.
Yeah, and we can talk about Cadena more when we get to first base. But do you think that has a lot to do with just wanting to get his bat in the lineup?
Yeah, I've kind of hinted at this before, but there's a lot of position flexibility on this team. So
Yeah.
the way we set up this depth chart was just to make it as simple as possible for those following along. But there's going to be guys who are not listed at certain positions going to play.
Yeah.
Just to get at bats and get in the lineup and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah. Good preface. We should have mentioned that off the top, but yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Let's keep it. Okay. I did have one more point on Carson. I don't want to spend 10 minutes on every single guy on the roster, but Carson last year coming back from injury and having to learn a new position, it really shouldn't be a surprise that his numbers dipped. And then you add bad luck into the equation, and it's kind of like a nightmare scenario for the kid. So if there's one guy you would think that's going to have a massive bounce back year, it's going to be him, right?
100%.
Yeah, and I've still got a little bit more. And yeah, it is a lot about Carson, but I'm going to say Carson is probably one of the most interesting players on this roster this year because of all the injuries, because of how well he played his first year, and then how well he played in the summer after last season.
There you go.
So he went to the Cape. He hit 315 with a 425 on base. He was a Cape Cod League All-Star. He was really showing to be the same Carson that he was his freshman year, right?
Yeah.
You don't just forget how to hit, right? The slugging wasn't spectacular. He slugged 416, but in the Cape Cod League, there's the ocean breeze, the cooler temperatures, and then the arms. Pretty much every arm who's an arm is up in the Cape Cod League pitching. So you see a lot tougher pitching. He had some more health issues. So he missed this fall as well. He had, I don't know what order they went in, but he had a couple of blood clots, and then he had to have a rib removed.
Yep.
But so he missed the fall.
Thoracic outlet syndrome or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. So because of that, he needed that rib removed, and then so he missed the fall. But I've watched a few games in the, what would you call this? The spring? I don't know. The
spring training.
The fall, spring. Yeah.
Spring training.
Sure.
Okay. Spring training in winter time. He's looked very good. He's looked like he's buffed up some. He's hitting the ball with authority. He's going the other way. He's hit 2 home runs. Apo Taco. Dude looks good.
You know what? It's amazing what you can do when you're not injured, when you don't have something that's going to hold you back. If I have an injury in my back, I can't even make coffee in my own house. So, it is crazy.
You mean learn a new position?
That's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, so we're talking about sports. I forgot about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. That's actually a pretty good preview of the first position. We've got.
Yeah, that wasn't our first position. That was the first player of the first position.
Who's next?
Nolan Traeger. He comes from Concordian Lutheran in Spring, Texas, I guess. He's a freshman catcher, 6 foot, 205, bats lefty, throws right. PG Perfect Game had him ranked as the number 18 player in Texas. And nationally, he was ranked as the 174th player in the nation. PBR had him ranked as the 9th catcher in the country. He's got a very good arm behind the plate, solid receiving skills. He's got good pop in the bat and could grow into big power threat at the plate.
His last name's familiar, Martin. Why is that?
Younger brother of Jax Traeger.
There you go.
Yeah, that's going to be a theme as we go through this position.
Brothers. Next up.
Jacob Silva, another brother.
From the
Younger
same mother.
brother
Oh yeah.
A brother
Younger
from a
brother.
different mother.
of Anthony Silva,
Oh.
shortstop extraordinaire. So he's from Clark High School in San Antonio, freshman catcher, 5'10", 203. He's also the nephew of former TCU catcher and leadoff hitter Mark Silva. Jacob is a switch hitter with solid pop and a good athlete behind the plate. I'm not sure how much he's going to get to play this year just because of how loaded the stable of catchers is this year. But he's looked pretty good in the fall as well.
All right. Garrett, give
Yeah,
us
so-
30 seconds on Tim Reynolds.
Mr. Tim Reynolds, not much on you, brother. Did not see any action. First season on campus last year. Came from out in Odessa College. Mr. Reynolds, thank you for choosing TCU. When you get opportunities, I hope you make the most of them, sir.
I feel like I've got a 1995 baseball card of Tim Reynolds playing for the Cleveland Indians or something.
Dude,
You know?
for sure.
It sounds like
Elite
a
clubhouse guy.
that sounds like
yeah.
a studio
Elite
guy
clubhouse.
for ESPN's baseball coverage.
There you go.
All right,
All right.
let's move on to
We've got first base, infield. We can talk
Oops.
about infield
Shoot.
collectively, but we can
Screwed
move
it
on to
up.
first base. And
okay. So outgoing players, we have Zach Wattis. He appeared in 4 games last year. You might remember his home run against UTA. And to you, Mr. Wattis, I say good luck at Central Arizona Junior College.
Back home.
Yep. Yeah, it just didn't work out for him here. That's fine. Best of luck to you in your career. Gabe Miranda, similar story. He appeared in 13 games, but only had 5 at-bats, was mostly used as a defensive replacement. Good luck to you, Mr. Miranda, at Northern Kentucky. Thank you for your 1 year at TCU. All right,
Maybe further away from home.
you're missing somebody, Jacob.
I don't think I am.
One Peyton Tolley.
No, we'll talk about him next week. He was not a position player.
I disagree.
We need to save.
He's a
Peyton Foley
pitcher.
for pitching.
We will honor him as a pitcher and nothing other than a pitcher.
Agree to disagree.
All right, let's go to our current frogs.
Returning production.
No, it's Isaac Cadena. He's
Oh.
a transfer in from Ohio State, originally from El Dorado High School in Placentia, California. He's a sophomore. He's listed as
Oh,
utility.
do I have that wrong? I'm sorry. I have him as a freshman. My bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's a sophomore. He's listed as the utility. I've seen him at catcher, first base. He can DH. He's played outfield He played outfield a little bit at Ohio State, and then over the summer, I think he might have played second base too. But he transferred in from Ohio State, and he hit 263 with a 341 on base and a 525 slugging in 27 games. As a freshman, he flashed good pop in limited action at Ohio State and is looking to do it over a full season as a starter. He's looked pretty good in the fall and in the exhibition games, both at first base and behind the plate. Cadena can also play some outfield in a pinch. I think he's currently the front runner for first base.
So, Martin, real quick. This is just Mosiello saying, hey, this is my guy. I'm bringing him here, right?
I mean, I think he's played well enough to start.
Yeah.
It was probably Mosiello saying, I have this really good player. We need to bring him in.
That's what I mean, right?
Oh, okay.
I mean, you've got the head coach coming back down to Fort Worth. You've got a guy transferring from Ohio State back, to TCU.
Yep.
That's the connection, obviously, right?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Well, I'm not
Didn't miss anything.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think we got Cadena locked in before Bill came back.
Okay.
And there is another connection as well. Cadena and Carson used to play together in Little League.
Love it.
Was Luis Rodriguez on that team too?
Probably.
Stack squad. All right. What about Noah Franco is probably one of the most interesting guys that we have to talk about, at least as far as newcomers come.
Unicorn.
Yeah, and we have him second on the depth chart, which I don't think that's an indication of the impact Noah Franco is going to have on this team.
No, I think it's more just the guys are going to be all over the field this
Yeah.
year. He's listed at first base. I think he's listed number 1 on DH. He can also play outfield. I've seen him play outfield. He's got a fucking cannon.
Dude, really good arm in left field.
He's also gonna. I'm sure he's gonna pitch. So
he'll definitely pitch.
He comes in from IMG Academy. Originally, he's from Downey, California. I've got him listed as left-handed pitcher, first baseman. I think that's what he's listed as on the roster. 6'3", 205. PG. Originally, he was classified for the 25 class or whatever the next class is.
Yeah.
And so he reclassified so that he could, come a year earlier. So originally he was going to be a sophomore draft eligible guy, but now because he reclassified, we're going to have him for 3 years. Originally he was the number 1 player in next year's class. Once he reclassified, he's ranked 7th nationally. MLB Pipeline had him ranked as the 92nd overall player in the draft last year. And he has had a stellar fall. He was named Purple White World Series MVP because of all the home runs he hit. That was one of the big things in the draft that he got knocked down for was the hit was above the power. But since he's gotten to TCU, he's actually flashed more game power. This guy's going to be one of the most interesting players on the roster.
I don't want to downplay the fact that Noah Franco is on this team this year, and
you shouldn't.
The next
you
2
shouldn't.
or 3. He is a pitcher, and he can play what it sounds like from Martin's every position on the field. He is
he's a
hit.
plus hitter.
Exactly.
Absolute gamer.
Absolute massive pickup for the Frogs that he was not. Well, he was drafted, but did not, take that. He decided to come to TCU.
He was not drafted.
He wasn't drafted because he told people he was going to TCU. Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Yep, correct.
Appreciate
it's
that.
probably more. He had a number, or his agent tells teams he has a number, and teams were not willing to meet that number, a very high number, because he wanted to come to TCU.
Exactly. It's a force me not to go to college number.
Yeah.
I mean, he should be getting the hype Lucan Baker and Braden Taylor got. I don't really remember how much mainstream hype Braden Taylor got, but Lucan Baker was the Texas Gatorade National Player of the Year, or the Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Texas. So he came in with a lot of hype, and he produced. Braden Taylor as well in his freshman year. I'd be surprised if he wasn't having that kind of freshman season for TCU this year.
And you see it all the time across college baseball, especially these days. Like, look at last year with like Jace Lovett at Texas A&M.
Laviolette.
Yeah, however you say it.
Syllables.
Whatever. I mean, Anthony Silva, his freshman year.
Yeah.
Freshmen, they come in and they produce.
Hey,
they're ready to go.
I don't want to jump ahead to next week, but do we expect his bigger impact to be pitching or behind the plate and kind of like other positions?
Wait, behind the?
Not behind. Sorry, at the plate.
At the oh yeah, definitely as a hitter. I think they're going to work him in slow on the mound, kind of relief, maybe midweek starts, but more so in relief. That's the feeling I'm getting.
Tune in next week to find out more.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a bigger impact at the plate, mostly because that's what TCU needs. They need a power hitter more than they need a pitcher, just because TCU is loaded with arms this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jacob said, they're going to roll him in slowly. we saw with Tolley they didn't want to overload a guy, and as far as relying on him to be your cleanup hitter and be your Friday night guy. So, more so with this guy being a freshman, I think they're gonna take him even slower, and then probably just need him to hit more than you need him to pitch this year.
Yeah, agreed. All right, y'all want to move on to second base?
Vamos.
All right.
We could put Camden, I guess, in depth at first. I don't know. We guys will be sliding around so much. We can save it.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about it. Like I said, like this depth chart is fluid. Like Martin said, like just because they're listed here somewhere doesn't mean that's necessarily where they'll play when they play.
After we finish the third base, we might want to throw out some names that could bounce around to, just in case.
Oh, there it is. All right. Outgoing players at second base. We have Peyton Chatagnier. He transferred in from Ole Miss after winning a natty with the Rebels. He started out hot in the non-conference, but then kind of found his playing time declining due to injury and declining production. I don't really know what our expectations were for Chatagnier, but I will say this: his season that he had last year was pretty much on track with every season he's played in college baseball. He's had really strong non-conferences. And then for one reason or another, conference play is kind of a struggle for him. But for all I know, like everybody loved having him on the team. So, glad he came here and good luck with whatever he's doing in life. So
thank you for coming to TCU.
Yeah, no, I mean, we got off to a 15-0 start, and he was a big reason why.
100%.
So that shouldn't be downplayed. All right, well, let's move on to those who are here.
Yeah, so Cole Kramer comes in from Washington State. He's one of 3 seniors on this roster.
Yeah, it's a very young roster.
Yep.
I noticed that.
Very young.
So before he was at Washington State for 1 year. Before that, he was at Lynn Benton Community College and then Arlington High School in Arlington, Washington before that. He's 6'1", 190, hits and throws right-handed. Perfect Game has him ranked as the number 18 senior in college baseball for the 2025 season. He hit .345 with a .425 on base and a .487 slugging with 20 extra base hits at Washington State last year. He was named to the All Pac-12 team, and he's a good line drive hitter who can play multiple positions. He played third base at Washington State and has also played all over the infield since transferring to TCU, including first, second, and third base. Kramer is very much in the mix to start the season at second base and brings a solid, gritty approach at the plate that could make the Horned Frog lineup extremely pesky and tough to get out 1 through 9.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see him play because I know he really produced at Washington State.
Heck, he produced against TCU.
Yeah, he did.
When Washington State was here last year.
Yeah, he was a big reason why we had so much trouble closing that game out.
Was it him that hit the triple in the 9th?
I think it was this Ashley something guy. I think he's at Texas State now.
Okay, so we have Cole Kramer listed here first, but I have a strong feeling Jack Bell will actually start. Martin, do you agree? I know, like I said, we have Cole Kramer there, but it's really fluid, right?
Yeah, second base was the toughest position to nail down. I think Cole Kramer and Jack Bell are probably like at equal footing. Jack Bell played at A&M last year, his freshman year. He played in 19 games for the runner-up Aggies. He's really good defensively. He does like everything well on defense, like spectacularly well. The range is elite. The arm's good. The only thing is that he's struggled at the plate over the
Yeah.
summer and in the fall. If he can cut down on the strikeouts, he has the chance to be a very good player.
Yeah, I know some people who know people in the A&M side of things. That A&M fans were sad to lose him. Like, they believed in his potential. But yeah, I mean, looking at his offensive stats, it gives you a lot of reason for concern. But again, I didn't realize this until this week, but he was just a freshman at A&M. So, some guys, not everybody's going to be Anthony Silva and Carson Bone, right? Like, they need time to grow into college baseball. So I don't know how he really projects as a hitter, but
again, too, if he's as defensively strong as he's shown, like I'm pretty cool with it, man.
Well, the thing is, if TCU gets enough production from everywhere else in the lineup, then you could sacrifice him for the added defense. But
as long as he's serviceable at the plate,
yeah,
his defense is a game changer.
I mean, let's be honest, guys. We're talking about the worst offense in the Big 12 last year. So does Cole Kramer give you more at the plate and a little less on defense? Then that might be the guy you need to go with. If this new roster is at least in the top half of the conference, then maybe we can lean in a little more heavy on defense at that position.
Also, it helps that you have real first basemen this year.
Yeah,
you don't have two catchers rotating between first base.
Position.
Do what?
It helps your catcher position that those guys aren't having to, moonlight as first baseman.
Yeah, but I think it helps your infield defense that much more that you have someone that can actually range.
Yeah, I'm saying in addition to that, it also helps the catcher position.
Some of our teams that have gone to Omaha have not had offensive production from the second base position.
No, it's historically been a light hitting spot in our lineup for sure.
Yeah. So if everyone else, like Jacob said, if everyone else is producing, and this is a bonus, cherry on top.
Right. All right, let's go on to Colton Griffin because we got to get through the rest of the lineup.
Yeah, so Colton Griffin transfers in from Stephen F. Austin. He's also from the Spring, Texas area. He went to Klein Collins High School.
Shout out Matt Perk.
He's a sophomore infielder. He's 5'10", 195, bats left, throws right. The Lumberjacks had a stinky year last year, but Colton Griffin was a bright spot on the team. As a freshman, he had 303 with a 375 on base and a 487 slugging with 5 home runs and 21 stolen bases. Over the summer, he really showed out in the Northwoods League. He hit 351 with a 456 on base and a 509 slugging with 2 home runs and 18 steals in 14 games. He's a very good athlete. He was a safety on his football team and a point guard on his basketball team in high school. He has all the tools to be a very good player for TCU. I'm just not sure how much he's going to play this year. He can also play some outfield, but outfield is just as loaded, if not more so than second base.
More to come on that.
Do you think when Colton Griffin first got to Lupton, it was kind of like Dennis Quaid in The Rookie? I mean, coming from Stephen F. Austin in that Little League city ballpark that they play in.
So I looked back. We didn't play SFA last year, right? Like, because I'm wondering why. Sometimes you see a player on another team that you play, and you're like, "Wow, that guy's good. I want him on our team."
Cole Kramer.
So Johnny Cardenas, what's his name? I think that's his name. He was the head coach at Stephen F. Austin. He played at TCU.
There you go.
He got fired, so maybe he told him, "Hey, go to TCU."
Yeah.
Probably made a phone call.
All right. We good at second base. Let's move on. All right. Going over to third base. We put Ryder Robinson here. He kind of played, he played shortstop. He played second. He played third. He started out his season at third base. He was a highly touted freshman last year coming in. And I know we were really excited about him. He did play in 47 games. He kind of had an up and down year, but he did show, flashes of potential. It's just, in my opinion, and I could be totally wrong about this, but I just think with the guys we have on the team this year, I'm just not so sure there was a spot for him, at least like a guaranteed spot. So he decided to go back home to Utah. He'll be playing for BYU. And yeah, just like the rest of these guys, I wish them all the best.
Do you think? Okay, real quick. I know we're delaying this, but do you think that was his decision or ours?
His.
I-
I
well-
think you'll see that. You see that all over the country.
Well, you know what? We can ask Kirk on Monday. I don't know how transparent he'll be about closed door conversations, but it could be a mix of both. It could be, hey, man, there's a roster spot for you here, but I can't guarantee you how much you're going to ever play. Right.
Why not? If you're not guaranteed playing time, I mean, you see that all the time.
Yeah.
With football, basketball.
Yeah. I don't think my guess is they didn't tell him, hey, pack your shit, get out of here. It was more like, you're welcome to stay, but good luck getting playing time,
Yeah.
Like there's going to be competition.
There's going to be a lot of,
Feel free to explore your opportunities.
Right.
Okay.
So, all right.
Next up.
Let's go to this year's squad.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Some new names.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, one new name.
Well,
One
sorry.
at least.
Just one new name. Excuse me.
So Preston Gamster comes in, JUCO transfer from Paris Junior College. If Anthony Silva hadn't come back and if he was playing in the minor leagues, I think Preston Gamster would be starting at shortstop this year.
There you go.
He's very good with the glove. I love watching this guy play. He in 2 years at Paris Junior College, he played 112 games. He had 144 hits, 42 doubles, 7 triples, 16 home runs, 39 stolen bases, and he hit 361 with a 425 on base, and he slugged 622. Prep Baseball had him as the number 47 JUCO player in the nation. He was a 5th overall shortstop in the nation, and he was 13th in the state of Texas. Do you guys know Brian Sadowski? Sikowski?
Mike Wachowski.
No. He was a former PG guy, scouting guy, but he's now the director of recruiting and analytics and player development at Duke. So this is one of his tweets. Good pickup for TCU, long, lean build, good athlete up the middle with real defensive chops, very good overall player.
Nice.
He's been one of the better players in the fall. He's a line drive hitter with good speed, good gap power. He's able to put some over the fence. He'll likely play at third base due to Anthony Silva holding down short, but Gamster would be a plus defender anywhere in the infield. The range really sticks out when watching him at third. Very good athlete.
Man,
Doesn't that kind of hitting profile play really well at Lupton? That kind of line drive.
Yeah, we got a lot of those guys this year too.
That plays well in any park in America.
True.
But yeah, especially here.
Okay. Great outlook on Preston. That's awesome.
Garrett, what do you got?
Yeah, so you've got Camden listed there. I kind of have Camden slash Micah, just the sophomore duo doing their thing. Kind of similar in their amount of reps they've had for both of those two guys. Didn't get much opportunities last year. I think let's just do Camden first, I guess. I had him listed for my notes here as potential at first. Has a decent amount of reps over there. I think he started 2 games as designated hitter last year. He had 2 over at third, and he had 1 at second. So he'll be a depth option. Same with Micah. Where did y'all stick Brody Green at when y'all put this graphic together?
Shortstop.
Okay.
Same with Micah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna save my notes on Brody, but yeah, the sophomore duo of those two are going to be at the hot corner. But again, we've continued to talk about these guys that we flipping around all over the place more than likely, but it's probably Preston's position to lose.
Okay. Yeah, y'all have anything else on Camden? Or y'all want to move on?
Move on.
Okay. No outgoing players at short, so we'll jump right into Anthony Silva.
We thought going into this year, we thought we were going to have an outgoing
Right.
player at short. we all expected Anthony Silva to get drafted. Thank the heavens he did not, and he is returning to TCU for his junior year.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, incredible. Love it.
Just incredible defense. Last year was kind of an up and down year offensively for him. Some might call it a sophomore slump. What do y'all kind of think kind of played into that?
So, Ray, I'll push back a little bit. I think you're generally correct that his year was up and down. I think it was more kind of average, consistently average.
I think with and with the the high expectations that were
I'll tell you
going
what,
into the season, because he
won't
raised
bog
the bar
things
after
down too
his
much.
freshman year.
I won't bog things down too much with graphs, but like if you look at his freshman year, I mean, for a better part of the year, he's around 1,000 in ops. And then towards the end of the year, tailed off a little bit, but 880, he finished at 884, which is still pretty spectacular for a freshman shortstop. And then he came out of the gate pretty hot. And then it was just like this kind of really slow, slight decline. But overall, a pretty consistent season. It just didn't have the spectacular parts of his freshman year.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that. Is it based on the fact that we saw so much pop
right
first year that we had that expectation to even go up higher, and that didn't happen?
Yeah. So that's what I think too. I think he'll project out this year around this same trend line. Like if he can be if he can be around 850 in ops, like he finished the year at 823. If he can be around 850, I'll call that a very successful season for him.
I will say in the just a handful of times that I saw him in the fall, I think he has the potential to be much higher.
If he does, that's incredible. But just based on his season last year, where you didn't see a lot of peaks and valleys, right? It was very, very consistent. So I would hesitate to project like a massive upswing in production.
Maybe not a massive upswing, but I could see 900.
Okay, fine. Yeah, if he gets to I'm going to say 850, but that's like splitting hairs.
Yeah, he has looked a lot more confident in the fall. He looks more like the guy who started out last year, against FGCU. I think he went, 4 for 5 in that first game.
Yeah.
He looks like a guy who is looking for his pitch and knows when to swing at it. He kind of had a little trouble last year, maybe trying to work the count or trying to guess where the pitch was going to be more than just looking for his pitch and just swinging whenever he saw it. I think he's going to have a better year this year.
Do you think Anthony Silva, more than almost anyone on this team, will benefit the most from having Coach Mo here?
That's really hard to say.
So what's so let's go back to that question. What does Coach Mo bring, Ray, that we did not have last year?
Well, you think of Coach Mo teams, and they're very patient. Working counts, working pitch counts, where TJ was very aggressive, attack early.
I think that'll help Carson more. Carson's approach is extremely patient.
Martin, what do you think?
Yeah. So as far as Coach Mo's, grinder mentality of trying to work long at bats, I think that would help Carson more than Anthony Silva. But the confidence at the plate, I think Silva got that over the summer in the Cape Cod League. The numbers don't stand out, but he just I think he just needed like a reset. And he just looks like a different guy at the plate than what he did at the end of last year.
Well, and draftitis is a real thing, right? We talked to Rooney about that last year. So you mix it in between sophomore slump and draftitis, like that's kind of
what does that mean, Jacob?
What's that? Draftitis? Oh, so like when you have the weight of the draft over your head, it can mess with your mentals. And, everybody knows baseball is a game of mentals. So if your mentals slip a little bit, it can have a big effect on the field.
And even more so for those sophomore eligible.
Right. That's what
draft.
As
opposed to, because, he's still got the draft this year. But I think it's
he's
different.
had that time to go through that already.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
he's been through it.
Back on campus, a little older, a little more mature. His brother's here. Gets the opportunity to be around his brother.
And let's keep this thing in perspective. He didn't have a bad year last year.
No, exactly.
It just wasn't as flashy as his freshman year.
He absolutely would have been drafted, right? I mean, it just maybe not as high as he wanted to.
Right. Okay, let's go to the outfield.
Hold on.
Sorry. Yeah, we have two more guys. My bad.
We got at least touch on Brody because
we absolutely have touch on.
I want to be a Brody Green believer so bad.
7'5", Brody Green.
Bro, you're not stepping out on a Brody.
Man,
Brody Green's a great player. You're not stepping out on a ledge
for a full baseball season so bad because I think he could be an absolute difference maker in this infield, and I would love to see him in the hot corner. His defense did get better last year. I didn't realize that through those first 9 games last season, he was batting 500. And then he goes he
was hot. I
didn't realize it was he was batting 500 through those first 9.
He carried that from fall of last year all the way through.
Dude, the guy, when he's on, he's on. When he's healthy, he's an absolute animal. I just want him to stay healthy and get hot again like he was to start the year last year. He made 17 starts last year. 10 of those were from third base. And then I believe it was five at second base and 2 over at first. Hit 303 on the year, had 4 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs, 12 RBIs on the season, and 6 multi-hit games. So no, I wanted to make sure we give Brody some love. I think he's going to get a lot of playing time this year.
It'd
be really, really cool if he could start at third base regularly throughout the season. Touched on Micah a little bit already as well. He's back this season. He's also taken reps at third base. He appeared in 5 games last year. He scored a pair of runs and had a couple of walks as well. But the big name there to keep an eye on and have faith in is Brody Green, and he'll be fun to watch this season. I think he can be a real leader for these guys.
Yeah, so Brody Green, right? If there's one thing that gives me a lot of hope about this offense, it's that Brody Green is not at the top of the list of guys you're looking to carry it.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Love it.
He's one of those guys you're looking at trying to call out starts. Because
that's a great sign.
And that's an outstanding, that's an outstanding issue to have, man. We just have a ridiculous amount of talent to kind of pick and choose from. And I think on a lot of different clubs, Brody is your no doubt day one starter at third base.
I think, I don't know if it was in the D1 fall report or in the season preview, but Brody Green was like the second guy they listed. And obviously they're just going off of, what's coming back, and it's very general reports, but
it's AI generated.
He's gotten some time, I believe, over at first base too.
Yeah.
Like for this year.
Like if we're struggling to get Brody Green at bats, then this is a potential Omaha team,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just love Brody Green's story here at TCU, right? This is his 4th year at the program, and he's kind of done it. You don't want to say like he's had to work and earn everything he's gotten here at TCU. I mean, he comes in as a freshman, doesn't get a lot of playing time, as a sophomore.
Yeah.
Comes in on fire his junior year, then is limited due to injury.
Yeah.
And then now he's back for his senior year. I mean, you don't see a lot of 4-year guys anymore across any college sports.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be obviously one of the oldest guys in the room, and our opportunity to be kind of a real anchoring force for them.
Yeah, just I mean, this
which
is
is
kind of
great.
crazy. We're going through this and revealing one position after another, and we have the whole infield plus catcher. And how many seniors do you see? I see 2.
2.
Isn't that wild?
Just
Yeah, and it's not going to get any older when we get to the outfield. I'll tell you that much.
Nope.
dude,
Not at all.
I'm looking at this depth chart. I mean, just what's listed here in the infield, and I'm like, oh, I could build 9 with just this right now. I mean, the depth on this team
Yeah, you
That's a
could.
great
in the
point.
infield is incredible.
Throw
Yeah,
Tim
'cause you-
Reynolds in center. He can handle
Yeah,
it.
Tim Reynolds in center. I love that. All right.
Let's
You
go
ready
to
to move on?
outfield.
Yeah, sure.
Yep, let's do some outfield.
There's not much to talk about. It's pretty. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I mean the infield has got it all.
We have a shit ton to talk about. A lot of go for it, Jacob.
Yeah, Jack Basir transferred in from Pepperdine last year. At Pepperdine, he had a really awesome year, and I know we were pretty excited about his year last year. He got some chances. He played in 18 games, but he just never quite showed enough. He had 46 at bats. He wasn't bad, but it wasn't enough to say, okay, you're a no shit starter in this lineup, right?
And played some third base too, right?
Yeah, he moved around. So he's going to go to USC and probably be a 50-game starter for the Trojans. So wish him the best of luck. No, I mean, look, I'm saying that he's a good player, right? It just didn't work out here.
Thank you for your services, Jack. Have
Yep.
fun in California.
Yep, wish him all the best. All right, here we go. Left field.
Sam.
Garrett.
Returning
Oh,
freshman sensation Sam
Garrett.
Myers really set the Big 12 on fire last year.
Garrett was swatting a fly off his ass. And got
I
distracted.
yeah. No, when I did my preview, I left Sam for Ray as a
Oh shit,
starter.
my bad. Yeah, this is
No, he
Ray's
should've.
guy. I keep mixing that up. Yeah, Ray, come on,
You
dude.
are okay.
Stop stalling.
Sam Myers, freshman year, hit 353 last year with an ops of 896.
I don't remember 353, but that's wild.
353. Only struck out 25 times in 173 at bats. Great plate discipline. Did he get banged up a little bit for a stretch of the year last year? Martin?
I cannot remember. Martin, you know.
Sam.
What was the
played in
question?
48
Sorry, I just got back. What was
I
the
mean,
question?
he only
Shitload
missed
of
a few
games.
He only missed a few games.
Oh,
if that's
you only
the
missed.
case.
Okay. Sorry.
I think
zonked.
early in the season it was spotty, and then he became a full-time starter pretty quickly on.
But once he did, he really took off.
Dude, yeah, he was probably the strongest part of our lineup for most of the season last year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, him and the next the guy one position over we're going to talk about.
Yeah, but injuries limited him as well as
maybe that's who I was
Logan
thinking of.
Maxwell and Brody Green.
You were thinking of Chase Brunson. All right.
Sorry, y'all. I have worked 69 hours this week. Not nice.
Nice. All right.
Including fit. So I'm a little zonked.
Hey,
you're
Garrett,
good,
you got
dude.
anything on Trevor?
I do not have Trevor
I've-
tonight.
I've got Trevor.
Oh, Martin does. Sorry about that.
You are
I am
okay.
excited about Trevor.
We're getting all
Yeah.
mixed.
Excited
Like,
about Trevor. I
we're
want to
not,
hear all about him.
we're not servicing the outfield very well. We're kind of getting a little mixed up, and we kind of put our feet on the coffee table after the infield. We need to lock in, guys.
Martin
Outfield's
loves that.
important. My old teammates used to tell me outfield was important, despite how much I disagreed.
Yeah, so Trevor Ballmer's actually been one of my favorite players to see this fall. He was definitely up there with the fall stars, maybe a fall American.
Oh no.
Who's
I
to
get-
know?
I get nervous whenever I hear Fall American and Fall Stars.
Why? I mean, they usually turn out to be pretty good players.
We just talked about Brody Green, right? You were
Yeah.
like, man, he carried that shit through the fall and into the spring.
last year, I would say the next guy we're about to talk about was a what do you call it? Fall of Famer.
That's
Trevor
totally
Baumler,
different. Totally different.
Trevor Baumler's ball performance was pretty close up there with did I forget his name?
Were we hanging his number in the rafters after the fall?
Yeah, but you got to take it down in the spring. So he's pretty great. So he comes from Dowling Catholic High School in Urbandale, Iowa. He's 6'3", 185. So he's listed as an outfielder and a right-handed pitcher. Dude, I mean, in the fall, he's played well enough to be a starter in the outfield. Sam Myers has kind of struggled in the fall and in the exhibition games, but I mean, he was definitely the best hitter on the team last year. So I don't think you start the year with anybody else other than Sam Myers in left field, but Trevor Baumler is up there. He's making it a competition, which was a position you thought was a lock.
Did you
Another
throw
thing,
right?
Well, we'll get there.
We got a lot of guys in the outfield. Baumler's also pushing for a weekend rotation spot, and we'll talk more about that next week.
Yeah. What a player. Yeah, no, if Baumler was starting over Myers to start the season, I'd be like, all right, this kid putting Sam Myers on the bench, he better win the Golden Spikes.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on.
Center field.
All right.
In.
Yeah,
Going out.
hold up. Let me get all my Jake Dewar notes pulled back up. Sorry, guys. I'm working with one screen now.
Wait,
all right.
How many innings did Jake play?
Yeah.
I'm really sad it didn't work out for Jake. I like Jake.
Well, he was good enough to be here, right? So it says a lot about him as a player.
And as a person.
2 years
Good
at TCU, very limited at bats. He's headed off to Florida Atlantic, and you know what? I hope he gets to play 1 million innings and hits 1 million home runs for FAU. It didn't work out here. I mean, that's kind of the same story for almost every guy I've talked about. Like, I will say the one guy I left off the list was Logan Maxwell. I don't know how I forgot him, but he's probably the most talented guy we lost, at least as far as production at TCU goes.
100%.
As for the rest of these guys, it's just they got to go somewhere else to play.
Yeah. And
we can't really fault. I'm not even faulting Logan. You know, if we want to just talk about Logan real quick, since I left him off the list, I have nothing prepared except he was a very good ball player that struggled with injury. What he lacked in power, he made up for with getting on base a shit ton.
Oh man, I think you're gonna see power from him in those tiny ballparks in the SEC.
They're expecting a lot out of him. That Arkansas team, if they have a weakness, it's their 1 through 9 hitting. So they're counting on him to be a major producer for them.
And if he can stay healthy, I think he will produce for them.
Second best overall hitter, for the Frogs and categories.
Injuries really hampered him throughout his career here at TCU.
I think that was a surprise for TCU. For Frog fans, or surprise, maybe not the wrong word, but like disappointment.
It's like, all right, let's say Logan stayed here. Is he guaranteed a spot to play? Because he's guaranteed one in Arkansas's lineup.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get drafted and signed. I really didn't think he was going to come back for another year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Martin, I think whenever he announced that he was transferring, we talked that it's kind of a fallback plan.
Well,
for him.
It reminds me of a fact, Arkansas reached out and said, "Hey, we'll give you this much," and TCU was like, "Wow, man, that's great for you. Go for it."
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. So, so long, Logan Maxwell. So long, Jake Dewar. Let's go to the guys who are here. Of course, it starts with Chase Brunson, number 15, back from back surgery.
How much does that concern y'all?
0%.
We'll ask Kirk on Monday.
More than 0, just because we saw what last year did for Carson as far as the offense at the plate. He's just a really good hitter, and I know at the end of the last year, that injury kind of had something to do with his drop in performance at the end of the year.
was trying to be positive with the 0% comment.
Yeah, it's more than 0, but
maybe 1 to 2.
So here's my overall stance with this, right?
Oh shit! If he hadn't have came out super hot,
Sorry, drop me
recovery, then maybe, but he did.
So here's what I don't want to see: if the injury is really hampering him, I don't want to see him struggling for 35 games.
I don't think you.
What do you mean struggling for 35 games?
So
struggling to start?
I don't want to see him struggling to produce for 35 games. Like, oh, let him work through it. Okay. If it's not there, then let someone else play.
I think that this is what's great about this year's TCU team is they have the depth and the quality of depth to where they don't have to ride a guy for an extended amount of time. Like if a guy is slumping, yeah, you want to give him a little bit of time to work through it, but you don't, the leash doesn't have to be that long, you know?
And just to be clear, I think he's healthy. I think Chase Brunson is ready to go. I just think not having a fall, he didn't play over the summer. He's coming back from that back surgery. I think he's just behind the 8 ball, and it's going to take him a little while to get right at the plate.
Yeah, and especially going into your sophomore year. Because like we've seen it now with Silva and Carson, who had spectacular freshman years. And I know they had extenuating circumstances as well, but sophomore years can be tough. Like we even saw, if you want to use Braden Taylor as an example, his freshman year was way better than his sophomore year. Now, his sophomore year was still damn good, but it wasn't as good as his freshman year.
Man, it was so fun to watch Chase, though. Like, just run down 100%. Balls and catch stuff, just make some diving play. Like, he was fun to watch, fun player to watch.
But I'll tell you who I'm excited about, too, and I hope he gets to play, is number 39, Cole Eaton.
Who's that, Jacob?
I don't know. Martin? I'm kidding.
So Cole Eaton transfers in from Tennessee. He's originally from Elkhorn, Nebraska, went to Elkhorn South High School. He's 6 foot, 185, redshirt freshman, bats and throws right-handed. In 2023, Perfect Game had him ranked as the number 2 player in Nebraska and the 121st player nationally. He transfers in after redshirting at Tennessee. He is a highly regarded prospect with speed and arm, particularly standing out. Apparently, he was clocked throwing 98 to 99 on throws from the outfield. He's had a really good fall. Actually, when he transferred in, I was like, oh dang, he transfers in from Tennessee, won a natty, and then I see he didn't play.
He was hurt, right?
I haven't seen anything that he was hurt. I just
saw I randomly saw a Tennessee message board that speculated injury, but that take that for what it's worth.
He didn't play at all. He redshirted, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But so you can redshirt if you're hurt.
Yeah. So I didn't really know what to expect from him, but man, he kind of blew all my expectations out of the water in the fall. He looked really good. He's got a short, compact swing with some pop. I've seen him hit a couple home runs. I believe he's earned a shot at some playing time, and if he continues to show what he did in the fall, there's no reason why he shouldn't get it. It'll be tough with such a loaded outfield, but the talent is there.
So is his only option center field, Martin?
No, you can play anywhere in the outfield.
I'm just saying, it's not just taking over for Chase, but he could chime in for somebody else who needs a day off or whatever too.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you could see him playing in left instead of Myers while Mulmer pitches. There's so many options, so many combination options with this lineup. Like the depth chart is for simplicity, not for.
It's just like our high school team. Everyone played every position and you just figured it out, right?
But 10 times better.
Oh yeah. They're probably better than we were.
Bro, like that's the thing I I always try to center myself when I'm talking about college baseball is that every single one of these guys on the screen right now, including the ones we'll show in right field, would have been the best player I ever played against in my life. Like, that's how freaky these guys are.
Their worst game is my best.
Bro, yeah. Like I played against a kid in high school who ended up going to Houston and never playing. And I thought he was like the god of baseball. Like this guy was electric in high school, and he just kind of washed out at Houston. Like, it's crazy how good these guys are. But anyway, so we want to move on to
right field, the forgotten.
All right, so
position.
I'll start with Fisher. Him and Jake Dewar basically had the exact same kind of storyline at TCU. They spent 2 years here, very limited playing time. 21 at bats. I mean, there's not much here for old Fisher. He's going to Florida Atlantic, and I'm sorry, I mixed that up. Jake Dewar is going to Florida Atlantic. Fisher's going to Nicholls State. So they'll get to play a lot there, and yeah.
Close, Louisiana.
But then we have Luke Boyers.
Oh, Lukey B.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna miss that guy.
Well, you know what, man? I was kind of just looking at his whole career, as one whole entity instead of breaking down a 2-week period like we did for the last few years. I mean, the guy had 700 at bats. He played in 194 games. I wouldn't call him a TCU legend, but it's special when a guy shows up as a freshman and he essentially never leaves the lineup until he graduates as a senior.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
He was a very good defender. I don't know if I know we talked about it, but I don't know if it was really stressed enough. So now that we're doing his eulogy,
we've been talking about Lukey B since the start of like
podcast one. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Still the whole folder of Lukey B memes sitting in my
the
phone.
LDC and Lukey B grew up together.
Have we talked more about Luke Boyers than any other player in TCU history on this podcast?
I mean, Braden Taylor is probably number one.
I'm just saying he's been on longer.
He has. Yeah.
Crazy.
And you know what? He's probably never heard of us.
No, he's 100% heard of us.
Well,
has he listened?
So I listed here. He was a very good defender. He was an underrated base runner. He flashed power. He did struggle with strikeouts, but he was a hit by pitch machine.
What's y'all's favorite Luke Boyers moment?
The time when we were like, man, get this guy out of the lineup, and they moved him to number 1, and then he just went off for like a month.
Yeah, you know who does listen is Bill Mosiello.
Bill Mosiello. Bill, we love you, man. Just whatever we say, ignore it and do the opposite.
Unless you've been listening to us since like year 1, you don't know this story, but yeah, we talked about, do we need to take Luke Boyers out of the lineup? And the next game, Bill Mosiello pencils him in as the leadoff hitter. And we're like, there's no way that's not a middle finger to us. Like, it has to be.
And then he did well.
Dude, that was the thing. That was the thing.
Whenever we
would bring up Luke Boyers as like someone we might need to look at to replace to make the lineup better, he'd go like 9 for 13 on a weekend. And then we're like, damn, man. And then, we would praise him, right? And then he'd go 3 for 21 the next 2 weeks.
I think my favorite was the walk-off home run against Army.
There's that one. That would have been my number 1, but since you already mentioned it, then I'll talk about the home run he hit early against Oklahoma State in the conference championship game in Arlington.
Dude, that was that was the same vicinity. I mean, he crushed that.
Yeah, exactly.
That almost landed in the same spot of the home run he hit it against Nebraska.
Right.
At Globe Life.
Yeah, the dude had some moonshots at Globe Life.
I feel like
So
he didn't have power a lot, but when he had power, it was gone from
Right.
the moment it hit the bat.
Right. Yeah, like I said, he flashed power, right?
He's the
It
one that
wasn't like
he
consistent power.
Jacob, you remember when we were up in Stillwater and
Yeah.
he hits what we thought was just like a routine pop-up.
Yep.
And next thing you know, it's hitting off the top. Their batter's eye is like a little building or whatever. Hits off the top of that building.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude, he had his moments for sure. I did think about this. If you exclude the COVID year, right? So just take 2020 out of the equation. He and Josh Watson essentially locked down an outfield spot by themselves for 8 years combined.
That's insane.
Wow.
Two guys. So I don't know what he's doing now, but you know.
All right, who's next for the next 4 years then?
I hope he's somewhere riding a tractor
Yeah.
with
Yep.
Mike Freeze.
All right. Let's
Mike
try to
Freeze.
figure out who the next 4-year guy is.
Mike Freeze. Oh my gosh.
Sawyer Stroh-Snyder.
Man, if he's here 4 years, do you think things have gone horribly wrong? Or
Yeah. That's the thing about being a 4-year player. You can't be good enough to leave after 3.
Or
This
two.
guy might leave after 2.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Did I misspell his name? Hold on. Did I misspell his name?
Yeah, you got an N in there.
Yeah, I think it needs to be the S and the N need to be.
Yeah, I also
flipped.
forgot his year.
Yeah.
Sorry. I got sloppy at the end. I was ready to get this thing done with. So he's a freshman, for those who don't know.
So he comes in from Brock High School in Weatherford, Texas. He's an outfielder, 6'2", 200 pounds. He bats and throws left-handed. PG had him ranked as the number 13 player in Texas and 101st in the nation. MLB Pipeline had him ranked 154th in last year's draft, and PBR had him ranked as the 12th overall outfielder in the country. He's a big-time athlete. He was a track star and all-region in basketball. He has an intriguing combination of power and speed. His most attractive attribute is his plus raw power. He's a little bit aggressive at chasing breaking balls out of the zone. So if he can master that and make more contact, that'll really help him translate that raw power into game power. Like I said, he's a sophomore eligible draft guy. He's got a hell of an arm. He's looked amazing in the fall out in the outfield, and he's a great base runner as well.
Martin, question for you.
Yep.
Sam he's played all 3 positions. Is there a reason we would lock in Sawyer for right field versus left? Like what's the thought process there?
The arm mostly.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you want your stronger arms in right field versus left.
And don't you think he's another player that'll benefit from the tutelage of Coach Mo, of learning how to be patient, wait and see your
Ray,
pitch?
I was going to save this point for the end, but we can say it now. I'll say it now. I love TJ Bruce. Like, he's been a good friend of the pod, but it was the last, like the bottom offense in the league last year. So in my opinion, everybody can benefit from Bill Mosiello.
Yeah, I mean, one of his main staples last year was swinging at your pitch early, and I think teams kind of recognize that, and especially with guys like Chatinier, who was like addicted to swinging at that first pitch no matter where it was. I think teams just kind of adjusted, and we just failed to readjust.
Yeah. I mean, Bill has a track record here of either pretty good offenses, good enough offenses, or elite offenses. there might have been a year or two where the offense was below average and we were carried by elite pitching. But for the most part, Bill's time here produced pretty good offenses.
We just need to tell him when somebody should steal or should not, and we can tell him that from the second row. It's no big deal. We'll yell it to him. This is a good decision or a bad decision, and he'll listen to us.
I can't wait to see if he shoots Jacob any looks this year.
I just wanted to look at us one time and say, "Shut the hell up, fellas!" You know.
Yeah, no, we were warring back in the day for sure, but that was over base running, not over offense.
All right,
as a whole. All right, go on. Anything else on Sawyer? Or should we move on to Jack Arthur?
I got something on Bill. I'll tell you right now, from watching him in the fall, that base running is going to be back. They're going to be aggressive.
Let's go.
Aggressive.
Let's go.
Looking forward to that, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
MK, you're flapping your angel wings to mock me right now. I feel mocked and disrespected.
Right. I'm just excited.
Yeah, you're not over there doing calisthenics and stretching. You're mocking me.
Hey, I'm an old guy.
Having trouble with the curve.
I need to work on my shoulder strength.
Oh, that's funny.
Jack Arthur.
Jack Arthur. Jack Arthur. So last year was his redshirt sophomore year. Prior to that, the guy was an absolute hoss at Weatherford, first team All-American, led them to a JUCO World Series. Most importantly, flashed a hell of a lot of power. Last season did not get his first year at TCU did not get that many opportunities. I believe he appeared in 18 games, but counted for 61 plate appearances. He did hit 305, 8 RBIs, had 3 triples. Most importantly, though, he did have a home run. That was a big fat grand slam against Baylor. Jack's a big guy. If he's on, he could account for quite a bit of power and provide a lot of power for this lineup potentially this season when he gets opportunities to find himself in the lineup. Well, Shay.
Okay.
Wow.
The last thing, MK, before you put a bow on it.
I'm not going to. Yeah, go for it.
We did want to touch on possible DHs. Just because there's so much fluidity in the lineup, that means the DH spot is going to have kind of a rotation. So we listed Noah Franco, Isaac Cadena, Trevor Baumler, Brody Green as guys who will get a lion's share of the DH at bats. So I don't know if there's much to add to that. It's just we need to note it.
Yeah, you'll probably see Carson Bowen DH some.
Yeah.
When he's not catching.
Do you think this year more than any other
fluid position, actually?
Yeah, anybody can DH, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be where they want to get guys rest, or get
still
2 guys that have the same position into the lineup.
Yeah, like Noah Franco is going to be the most fascinating guy as far as positioning goes because he's going to pitch, play first base, DH.
I wonder because we got a couple of two-way guys in Trevor Baumler and Noah Franco who are, they're going to get some at-bats, they're going to get some innings in. I wonder if any of those guys start, if they will start them in the lineup as well as the DH and start on the mound.
I don't think so.
They did it a couple times with Tolley.
It sounds like we're coming up with our entire interview for Kirk on Monday. We got a lot of things to ask him.
Jacob, while we're talking about the games on, let's say, Mondays after the series, can we have this up, and then we'll go inning by inning where players are moving around and flexing, and you can you just figure it out as we're talking, inning 1 through 9.
I'll run the season through AI. And
there you go.
Just predict at bat by at bat.
Why don't we go by? Why not pitch by pitch?
I'm not asking. I'm not asking you to do it. I'm asking you to develop a program to do it. That's all.
Right. Yeah. And I'm going to take credit for it. But yes, I will have that by Monday, and we will sit down with Kurt at 11 a.m. on Monday, and we'll go pitch by pitch through the whole season with him.
Kirk
Is it not
Solos?
Is it not
Yeah,
Tuesday?
yeah. That's not non-disclosure. That is disclosure. We are disclosing this information.
Is it Monday
Breaking-
or Tuesday?
I thought it was the 11th.
Yeah, Tuesday. Sorry. We have Kendall Rogers on Monday.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait,
that's-
Guys, it's game week.
of,
we gotta-
D1 baseball?
Kendall Rogers of D1 baseball on Monday, Kurt Sarloos of TCU baseball on Tuesday.
On back-to-back days, you're telling me.
You
Yeah,
think-
no rest for the LDC.
You
We got a
think
back
we're
to back.
a legitimate podcast with sponsors and stuff like Long Drink and Chinook Cedary?
Yeah. Let's recap Chinook Cedary for the people who joined late. Yeah, go to Chinook Cedary's website, get some delicious seeds, stock up for the season.
If you use the
Use
code
promo code LDC,
LDC.
and get 10% off. Do it.
LDC.
Do it right now. Do it right now. We're
LDC.
about to wrap
So-
up.
when you go to
Go
their
get your
website, they will give you 10% off their first order. However, if you use LDC, you'll get 10% off every order, every time you order.
In perpetuity, one would say.
It's a long
And then-
season. You'll be ordering a lot of seeds. So
Yes.
save the code.
Yeah,
Keep
check
using it.
out all the flavors. You can build a custom pack of flavors.
Hey, longer pod than usual, almost 2 hours. But you know what? We had a baseball movie draft, and we also had to break down the offense, which, you know what? It's worth talking about for an hour and a half. It's
Yeah.
worth it because there's a lot of guys to talk about. So thank you for listening to Postgame Beers. If you chimed in tonight at all on YouTube TV live, we appreciate it, or YouTube, we appreciate it. But we're also at Lupton Beers on Twitter, Instagram, and hope you chime in and, jump in on occasion and add a comment. We'd love that. So
Yeah,
Grateful.
shout out Craig, Cody, William.
absolutely.
Keith.
Starless and Sons.
Yeah, our guy Keith.
Thanks, fellas. It was fun to chat baseball tonight. It was fun to chat TCU baseball tonight. Love you guys and talk to you soon. Go Frogs.
Go Frogs.
Go Frogs.
Dude, Jacob, I can't believe the text that Kyle